Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 642 based on novel. So let's start. As the entire immortal astral continent alternated between black and white, at Mount Emperor, Grand Empyrean Ju Di flew out from his closed-door cultivation. He looked into the distance and his expression changed. This is indeed the immemorial god realm. It has opened from the ancient clan this time. And the time is a lot earlier than normal. The opening of the immemorial god realm should not open this early. This means this will be the first time the immemorial god realm will open completely, and it will be different from before. A woman's voice came from beside Ju Di. It was Hai Zi, who was wearing a white robe. She looked into the distance with a complicated gaze. I can't divinate it completely, this is all I could see. I also divinated that we have to wait several hundred years for the immemorial god realm to actually open. A complete opening. An unsuppressed excitement appeared in Ju Di's eyes. If it opens completely, then there might be a method for Grand Empyreans to surpass their current level and reach the level of the celestial ancestor. Celestial clan, the Dao Yi sect. Over the years, the Dao Yi sect had become a gloomy land. Countless powerful people had died and Grand Empyrean Dao Yi had remained in closed-door cultivation. This caused the population here to become sparse. However, at this moment, a roar came from the Dao Yi sect. As the roar echoed, one of the mountains collapsed and a figure covered in grey gas flew out. This figure was ferocious and stared at the distance. Immemorial god realm. There might be a method for me to completely get rid of the ancestral curse there and allow my cultivation level to increase. Inside the Purple Yang sect, the two lovely little girls were in closed-door cultivation. The celestial ancestors' eyes were between the two of them. The eyes gave off a strange light that connected the two of them. At this moment, the two of them both opened their eyes and looked toward the same direction. Their gazes seemed to penetrate the wall, seeing the world outside. Wu Feng, who was the first in the celestial clan to notice this, was standing on an iceberg with anticipation in his eyes. At the same time, deep under the palace of the celestial ancestral city, there was an overlapping space. Inside the space, there was a mountain, and the madman remained motionless there. Aside from the powerful members of the celestial clan, the people of the ancient clan also paid attention to the opening of the immemorial god realm. The Grand Empyreans of the ancient Ji and ancient Shi both looked over. As for Xian Luo, he had already noticed that something was wrong as he looked at the deserted mountain Wang Lin had gone to and at the anomalies in the sky. Even the Holy Emperor, who had gone back under the palace, flew out again. She stood next to Xian Luo and looked at the sky in shock. The immemorial god realm is opening ahead of time. The two of them looked at each other. They didn't continue to speak, but began to ponder. At central area, where the three countries of the ancient clan were connected, a figure was standing inside the top of the tower on top of Mount Jiu Dao and looking at the sky. A sigh came out from the tower. Finally! It has opened completely. When I learned about everything that day, I knew I could not change it. The figure shook his head and revealed a rare trace of bitterness. Hundreds of years later. Sea of suffering. All souls beneath the heavens must suffer divine tribulation. Free thyself from convictions that lead only to destruction. Walk the path of the true Tao, the blurry figure muttered. After the sky of the immortal astral continent turned to night for the 8th time and returned to normal, the last vortex above the mountain disappeared. However, the 8 pillars were standing above the vast sea, and no matter how much the waves smashed into them, they didn't move. Within the circle formed by the 8 pillars, the sea gradually turned to fog, but the sea outside the pillars remained liquid. Under the collapsed mountain, the ancient Tao imperial teacher, who looked like the All-Seer and the 7-colored celestial sovereign, had a serious expression. His hands continued to form seals as he pressed down on the formation and muttered a strange sound. His voice sounded like countless people muttering, but it was impossible to hear anything clearly. When Wang Lin heard this, his eyes shined an undetectable amount. Restrain the heavenly Tao. All souls beneath the heavens must suffer divine tribulation. Free thyself from convictions that lead only to destruction. Facing the boundless unknown, all souls must resolve their questions in life and break free from the machinations of heaven. Obtain the path of life, and walk the path of the true Tao. The endless murmuring from the ancient Tao imperial teacher suddenly turned to this. The moment his words echoed, the formation released endless light. Then, endless amounts of large nets appeared in this space. This was the net that Wang Lin had broken when it prevented him from entering this space. However, as the light from the formation flashed, cracks appeared in this net. The ancient Tao imperial teacher had used some method to teleport the formation from the space it was in and moved it onto the immortal astral continent. It has to be said that the formation inside the deserted mountain was merely an illusion. Wang Lin had used his full power to break the boundary to enter that space. Now the formation was using the same method to break out and become real. What came with it was Wang Lin's slaughter avatar. At this moment, this avatar was in the same space as Wang Lin's original body. This scene caused Wang Lin's eyes to light up. When the formation penetrated through the boundary and arrived at the immortal astral continent, the ancient Tao imperial teacher let out a roar. 10-colored light erupted from the formation and shot into the sky. From a distance, it looked like it had formed the 9th pillar. Wang Lin's slaughter avatar retreated a few steps and fused with Wang Lin's original body as the light shot into the sky. Wang Lin appeared next to the light and looked at the light going into the sky. He clearly felt the indescribable and terrifying force coming from it. Inside the light pillar, the ancient Tao imperial teacher roared, 9th pillar, open the immemorial God realm. The light pillar flew into the sky and flew toward the vast sea between the ancient clan and celestial clan. At the vast sea, inside the circle of the 8 pillars, a ray of light flew in from the distance and the 9th pillar appeared at the center. The sky changed colors and ripples echoed across the sky. Soon, the entire sky of the immortal astral continent was covered in ripples. The entire sea churned as the 9th pillar descended toward the center of the circle formed by the other 8 pillars. The moment it descended, the scene unfolded. This shook the hearts of everyone who saw what was happening here, and they were filled with disbelief. The endless ocean released a loud sound that echoed across the entire immortal astral continent, then the vast sea slowly rose up. It was as if a giant hand was using a powerful spell to slowly lift this vast sea. It was impossible to describe the size of this vast sea, but lifting the entire sea was not something a Grand Empyrean could do. Not even Grand Empyrean Gu Dao could do it. When the sea rose, a deep pit was revealed. This deep pit was filled with countless holes and was uneven. It was hidden under the sea and hadn't seen sunlight for countless years. The sea continued to rise, and it soon surpassed the ancient clan and celestial clan. The sea was very deep, so much so that it was difficult to calculate how large it was in a short period of time. When the endless sea flew above the land of the ancient clan and the celestial clan, it was still rising. When people saw this, they were in shock. They couldn't distinguish the difference between the sea and the sky. Just at this instant, the endless sea turned a half circle, like a palm that suddenly stood up. The sea rose up so that its depth was now its width and its width was now its depth. This scene was simply too strange. The 9 pillars in the sky were at the center of the sea. The vast sea was like a huge wall that cut off the celestial clan and the ancient clan. It looked like it had no end and even gave off the sense that it was an illusion. It was impossible to tell if it was the immortal astral continent that had turned and the sea remained the same, or if the sea had moved while the immortal astral continent remained stationary. This shocking scene made people feel as if the sky had been reversed. The 9 pillars at the center of the sea began to slowly rotate, picking up speed as they moved. From far away, they looked like a storm that connected the sky and the earth. One could vaguely see the 9 pillars inside the storm shine and form a giant door. The door was closed and hadn't opened. Unfortunately, your slaughter is not enough. Otherwise, the door could be opened immediately, but now it will take 500 years for enough power to gather to open the door. So, Wang Lin, let us meet again in 500 years in the immemorial God realm. When we meet again, you will know the truth. In the deserted mountain outside the ancient Tao imperial city, the ancient Tao imperial teacher slowly disappeared from the flashing formation. Wang Lin looked at the dissipating figure and suddenly said, the Dawnlin sect was destroyed by you. But he didn't get a reply. A laugh echoed as the formation dissipated and the ancient Tao Imperial teacher disappeared. This place was still in ruins. Wang Lin silently pondered for a long time and then turned around. He flew off into the sky as a ray of light and disappeared. Wang Lin no longer had any reason to stay at the ancient Tao. Everything had become the past. However, there was a person here that he still considered his teacher, even though he had used his death to cut their relationship. A teacher he couldn't acknowledge but would forever remain his teacher in his heart. The storm at the ancient Tao Imperial Palace, where Xian Luo's disciple, Wang Lin, had stormed the palace and used his death to repay Xian Luo's kindness, had attracted the attention of countless people. In the end, he killed the ancient Tao Emperor, and not even the Holy Emperor Yi Wei was able to stop Wang Lin from leaving. This news gradually spread after the members of the other two clans left. Almost everyone who was qualified knew about it. This matter should have caused a bigger wave, but another even more shocking matter made it slowly fade. The early opening of the immemorial god realm set off a wave across the entire ancient clan. The vast sea between the ancient clan and the celestial clan had become giant pit. The pit was endless and gave off the smell of decay. At the center of the sea was a storm that rumbled loudly. In the swirling sea, the door formed by the 9 heaven-piercing pillars loomed. This attracted the attention of a lot of powerful people, but after observing it, they all left. Zhu Di had also personally come here, but even with his cultivation level, he could not get far into the storm, not to mention the door was not open. Judging with his cultivation level and Hai Zi's estimation, it would take 500 years for it to open. And this time, it would be a never-before-seen complete opening. Dao Yi, Wu Feng, an ancient clan Grand Empyreans, including Xian Luo, had all come. They silently looked on from outside the storm and silently left. But at the same time, a message had come down from Mount Jiu Dao to the 3 royal clans and their Grand Empyreans. The message was very simple. It told people to stop observing the immemorial god realm and that it would open in 500 years. The message also told the 3 clans and their respective Grand Empyreans to prepare for battle in 500 years. Mount Jiu Dao didn't pay any heed to the death of the ancient Dao Emperor. This strange phenomenon made the part of the ancient Dao that was advocating for Grand Empyrean Jiu Dao to hunt Wang Lin down to become silent and never mention this matter again. Similar to the ancient clan, the celestial clan had also sent out a message to all 72 continents that the immemorial god realm would open in 500 years. They were to spend these 500 years training the powerful people under them. The Empyrean Exalts and Ascendant Empyreans were the most excited. The immemorial god realm was like the Dragon's Gate for them. Once they obtained a fortune, they would become a Grand Empyrean. Because of the appearance of the immemorial god realm, a storm had been set off on the immortal astral continent. However, due to the 500-year wait, the storm was suppressed into an undercurrent. It was like the calm before the storm. Whether it was the ancient clan or celestial clan members, if they believed they were qualified to enter the immemorial god realm, they felt a powerful pressure. They vaguely knew that the moment the immemorial god realm opened, a grand event would take place. But this matter would likely result in a war between the celestial clan and the ancient clan after being at peace for so long. The ancient clan was preparing. The celestial clan was the same. 500 years, only 500 years. For mortals, low-level cultivators, and low-level members of the 3 clans, 500 years may seem long. However, for the powerful, 500 years was just the blink of an eye. Signs of war appeared across the immortal astral continent due to the appearance of the immemorial god realm. In a country at the border of the ancient Tao and ancient Shi, it was the rainy season. The rain was not strong, but it seemed like it was going to last for a long time. Even in the rain, the ancient cities remained bustling. The rain quietly fell on the earth and accumulated into small rivers. The sky was dim and seemed hazy. In a mountain not far in the distance, there was a young man in white holding a paper umbrella. Beside him was a woman. She was very beautiful, and she also looked ahead with the young man. There are stories about you and the soul fragment inside me named WANO, the woman said softly as she withdrew his gaze from the rain and looked at the man in white beside her. It was this man who had broke into the ancient Tao palace, killed the ancient Tao emperor, and walked out of there with the power of one person, yet no one had dared to stop him. It was him who had brought her here. She didn't know what Wang Lin was going to do, but on the way here, the man's gentleness and consideration made her feel a warmth from the bottom of her heart. On the way, the man had told her a story. It was a long story. A chance encounter, a love that began with, "I'll take you to kill," and ended with, "Even if heaven wants you to die, I'll take you back," followed by thousands of years of sorrow and reminiscence. Wang Lin looked at the woman before him, revealing a gentle gaze, and nodded. The woman was silent. She could feel that Wang Lin's gentle gaze was not toward her, but the soul fragment inside her. She looked at the rain in the distance and spoke softly. "Where are we going?" "To the place we first met." Wang Lin held Songji as they faced the rain and walked into the distance. He didn't move at full speed for this trip, because he had to take care of Songji's weak body and the unstable soul fragment inside her. As a result, it had been a year since he had killed the ancient Tao emperor. During this year, Wang Lin had not been hunted by Mount Jiu Dao, and the ancient Tao hadn't said anything about this matter. Wang Lin calmly brought the woman to the edge of the ancient Tao territory. Past this place would be the ancient Shi, where we first met. "Is it Blackstone City?" The woman's black hair was blown by the wind and a few strands flew into Wang Lin's face, entangling with his white hair. Wang Lin didn't speak and gradually disappeared with her into the rain. A few months later, Wang Lin and Songji left the ancient Tao and arrived at the ancient Shi. After arriving here, Songji's mood was no longer down. Looking at the ancient Shi, she found a sense of familiarity. But she spoke less and less. Facing Wang Lin, she became more and more silent and felt complicated. During this trip, she could sometimes feel Wang Lin sending a warm energy into her body. She didn't know what it did, but she could feel the soul fragment that had merged with her show signs of separation. "He is separating the soul of the woman named Wana. Perhaps when the soul completely separates, that will be the moment of my death. But to be able to see my hometown, to see Aunt Chang and Sister Dawn, is also very good." Songji felt bitter in her heart and silently pondered. She was afraid but powerless. Wang Lin saw all of this, but he didn't explain anything. They were getting closer to Blackstone City. Several more months passed. As the sun set on a deserted mountain, Songji looked into the distance and asked the man beside her, "We will arrive at Blackstone City tomorrow." Just now, Wang Lin had told her that they would reach her hometown of Blackstone City tomorrow. Wang Lin nodded. Songji silently pondered for a moment and then smiled as she looked at Wang Lin. She looked at the person who had accompanied her for more than a year. She looked at the youthful face that gave off an ancient aura. "Wano is very fortunate. I hope you and her will be happy forever." At the noon of the next day, Blackstone City could be seen from the distance. The city made of black stone appeared in her eyes and made Songji feel a sense of home. Less than 500 meters from the city, Wang Lin stopped. Songji looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "Can you let me touch your face?" Wang Lin looked at the woman, and after a long time, he gently nodded. Songji smiled and her face suddenly turned red. She caressed Wang Lin's ordinary-looking face, and after a moment, she placed her head against Wang Lin's chest. She could hear his heartbeat. The sound of his heartbeat made her close her eyes. Wang Lin lowered his head and stroked her hair. A fragrance came from her and drilled into Wang Lin's nose. The two of them remained like this for some time. When the setting sun became faintly red and dim, Songji raised her head from Wang Lin's chest. "If I die, please?" "You won't die." Wang Lin calmly looked at the woman. As he spoke, he pointed to the spot between her eyebrows. Songji's vision became blurry and she fell down as if she was asleep. Half an hour later, her eyes were filled with confusion when she woke up. She silently looked around with a frown, and after a long time, she seemed to remember something. At this moment, the sun had mostly set and was about to disappear. Songji stood up and looked at her neck to find a jade pendant that gave off warmth. She could feel that Wan's soul fragment had disappeared. She was no longer Songji and she hadn't suffered any injuries. However, she felt a ripple across her heart and her eyes were emotional. After a long time, she turned and walked toward Blackstone City, which was not far away. This was her home. Blackstone City was the same as before she left. She didn't meet any guards on her way in, as if the city lord had received an order. But when she arrived at her house, she saw two people standing there. One was a white-haired old woman and the other was a young girl. Aunt Chan. Sister Dawn. I am back. Songji bit her lower lip and smiled. Outside Blackstone City, Wang Lin stood where Songji had stood and looked at the city. After a while, he withdrew his divine sense. The woman was very pitiful. The fusion with Wan's soul had harmed her greatly. Her memory was in disarray and she could not tell who she was. Wang Lin could have ignored her weakness and disregarded her life to separate Li Muwen's soul. However, the result would have been her life force extinguishing. Wang Lin had cultivated for thousands of years. People thought that he was very ruthless and cold-blooded, but he was still human. He didn't want to do this, so he had spent nearly 2 years slowly making his way here. Along the way, he had slowly sent his cultivation into her body so that Li Muwen's soul could be separated without harming her. She is innocent. But it was also her who allowed me to find Wan's soul, so she should not be hurt for this. The jade I left with her contains my divine sense and should keep her safe. Jidu, you have to properly take care of her, Wang Lin slowly said. Ripple echoed behind Wang Lin and Prince Jidu walked out. He respectfully said, as Godfather commands. I have informed the city lord to guard Songji to not allow her to suffer any harm. Please rest assured, I have even sent guards to live here to protect her. Prince Jidu knew how important Songji was to his godfather, so he didn't dare to be sloppy in this regard. Prince Jidu had stayed here because according to his analysis, Wang Lin would likely come here. He had waited here ever since he returned from the ancient Dao, and Wang Lin had finally arrived. Wang Lin didn't show any emotions about the fact that Jidu had waited here. On the contrary, if Jidu hadn't done this, then it meant that he would not be useful to Wang Lin, and it would be very difficult for Jidu to obtain the position of ancient emperor. Let's go. Wang Lin glanced at Blackstone City once more and then walked into the distance. Jidu suppressed the excitement in his heart and followed Wang Lin. Wang Lin walked ahead and calmly said, "Prepare a place for me, I'm going into closed-door cultivation. Child has a secret chamber in my palace. If Godfather isn't happy with it, I can get people to immediately create another," Prince Jidu quickly replied. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and the world around them distorted and both of them disappeared. When they reappeared, they were inside Prince Jidu's palace. This secret chamber is fine. Without my permission, no one is allowed to cause any disturbance. Wang Lin's gaze fell on the palace and he chose a secret chamber to enter. Seeing that Wang Lin was about to step into the secret chamber, Prince Jidu hesitated. He seemed to want to say something but seemed afraid to speak. Wang Lin was halfway into the chamber when he paused and looked at Prince Jidu. If you want to become the ancient Shi Emperor, then Grand Empyrean Song Qian is key. If he recognizes you as the only candidate, then everything will be simple. Prince Jidu looked helpless and spoke with a bitter smile. Child doesn't know what I have done to provoke Lord Song. Usually, when I go see him, he doesn't meet with me, and even when I meet him in the palace, he is very cold. My younger brother, Kai Man, is very close to Lord Song. He lives on Origin Mountain and is rumored to have been accepted as Lord Song's disciple. Father also seems to care a lot about Kai Man. The entire ancient Shi is leaning toward him as the next emperor, Jidu said bitterly. Wang Lin's expression was calm, and after hearing this, he silently pondered for a moment. The Grand Empyrean of each clan can appoint each generation of emperor, but it is without exception. I think you are prepared. Wang Lin looked profoundly at Prince Jidu. Prince Jidu immediately felt like he had been completely seen through by Wang Lin, unable to even hide his thoughts. Prince Jidu knelt down and respectfully said, "Child is still preparing. I'm unwilling to fail and be forced out as a king. Once I lose the chance to become the emperor, there will be no second chance. Whether it is intelligence or cunning, I'm better than that Kai man. I'm unwilling to give up. I hope Godfather will help me. Once I become the emperor, I'll fulfill my previous agreement and won't dare to go back on it. Wang Lin's expression remained calm and he said, aside from your younger brother, there should be another opponent. And also senior brother. When he was born, there was a change in the world. It even attracted the attention of Grand Empyrean Gu Dao and a gift was sent. He also has a high possibility of obtaining the position of emperor. Jidu smiled bitterly. Wang Lin pondered for a bit and said, I don't care about your preparations, but I can go meet that Song Qian to see if he can appoint you as the next emperor. When Prince Jidu heard this, he was ecstatic, but his expression didn't change much, he only nodded respectfully. Looking at Jidu before him, Wang Lin could see that formidable person. Someone who could cover up their emotions and knew their limits. We'll talk about this matter after I come out of closed-door cultivation. If there is nothing important, don't disturb me. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and returned to the chamber. After the door closed, the place became silent. Prince Jidu knelt there for a while longer before he respectfully got up and revealed unabashed joy in his eyes. With Godfather's power, Lord Song might really change his mind. But I need to begin my plan as well. This time, I must fight. Once I'm successful, in 200 years Jidu, will be the ancient Shi Emperor. Prince Jidu was excited and took a few deep breaths before he suppressed his excitement. He immediately sent out a command to make this a forbidden area, and anyone that dared to trespass would be immediately killed. He had even brought over several guards to protect this place day and night. Wang Lin walked into the secret chamber and looked around. He waved his right hand and a large amount of restrictions scattered across the room, sealing the entire chamber. With Wang Lin's current cultivation level, the restrictions he had placed made it so not even Grand Empyreans could enter without him knowing. He sat on the ground and his eyes lit up. Aside from sending Songji home, there was a deeper meaning to him coming to the ancient Shi and helping Prince Jidu become the ancient Shi Emperor. One drop of soul blood can't make Wan's body enter the immemorial god realm. Back in the Purple Yang sect, he had seen many records about the immemorial god realm from Gemini. There were some descriptions of the immemorial god realm. As for when it appeared, no one knew, but from what he could gather, powerful pressure could hide one from the operations of the world there. The souls of the people who died there would not enter reincarnation, as if even reincarnation was stopped there. This was very similar to what the ancient Tao Imperial Teacher had said. That was why Wang Lin had allowed the ancient Tao Imperial Teacher to activate the formation and open the immemorial god realm. Wan's body can't survive the immemorial god realm, and according to the ancient Tao Imperial Teacher, although the soul blood can make up for it, one drop is obviously far from enough. The ancient Tao Imperial Teacher painstakingly opened the immemorial god realm. He used the truth as law and Wan as reincarnation as bait to make me go there. No matter what, his purpose is to make me believe him, so he should be at least telling the truth regarding Wan. Otherwise, I wouldn't need to go. Wang Lin silently pondered. The biggest reason he was going to help Jidu was that he needed more soul blood. In order to get more, he had to go the ancestral temple to go through the last trial. This is the only way to have a chance to obtain the approval of the ancient ancestor again and perhaps obtain more soul blood. I can no longer go back to the ancient Tao, and the right to open the ancestral temple is not in the hands of the Grand Empyreans. This right belongs to the current emperor. Even if Lu Chen is recognized as the ancient Tao emperor. I still don't want to go back to the ancient Tao. Wang Lin sighed and revealed a complicated expression. As for the ancient Ji, I haven't had much contact with them. The ancient Shi is much more suitable for me, especially since although Jidu is ambitious, he doesn't dare to go against my intentions. 500 years. The last 500 years. Wang Lin took a deep breath and waved his hand. A crystal-clear coffin appeared before him. Li Muwen seemed to be sleeping inside the coffin. Wang Lin looked at Li Muwen and his expression became gentle. His left hand hit his forehead and a ray of silver light shined. There was a blurry shadow inside the silver light. This shadow was Li Muwen's soul fragment. Wana, from now on, your soul will be complete. I'll awaken you, not just for decades, but for a lifetime. Wang Lin raised his finger and a ray of light shot toward Li Muwen. Her eyelashes suddenly quivered as if she was going to awaken, but they soon calmed down. However, 2 streams of crystal-clear tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. This video will end here.